Hello again. So, here we are with the recollections of my 5th D&D campaign, my 5th completed D&D campaign. And let's see here. We are on Recollection 12. I know the previous video said we were on Recollection 12, but I was reading the wrong one. Anyways, so we have the 12th Recollection. Again, I am using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition sourcebook, Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, owned by the company Critical Role. And D&D is obviously owned by Wizards of the Coast. So, that's what I'm using. That's our TTRPG. So, the party, starting out, decides to head into the sewers from the safe room that was in the Linhart residence of in Deastock. So they head into the sewers. There, they begin to hear voices in a panic state, and they discover a group of criminals are running from something in the sewers. They overhear two of them talking about Kreen spies, but what is hunting them is different. Again, the Kreen spies, it's in reference to the Kreen dynasty of the land of Shorehas. And these are basically dark elves that came to the surface, or drow elves that came to the surface. Eventually, we'll get to more of that. But anyways, anyways, we're in the Empire, the Dwendalian Empire, and there are spies there, hiding out in Deastock. So, the party hears what sounds like death screams and sees one criminal run away through the tunnels. Now, the party cautiously proceeds with Vexen and Nox's kid using their ranger skill set. They are trying to track the criminal and discover what is killing these criminals. All right. So, the party, thanks to Vexen, finds the tracks of the criminals, and Nox's kid discovers a strange sort of secretion that resembles that of an amphibian from a nature check that he performs. They follow the tracks and are led to a cistern in the sewers that is a central point for many tunnels. Now, the party sees the criminal across the cistern banging on a great stone door, begging for entry. He's banging on it, trying to gain entry. Anyways, they discover it is a criminal hideout in the sewers. But before he gains entry, something shadowy snatches him into the cistern. The party, spreading out around the cistern, takes cover while Elio and Xander try to gain entry into the criminal hideout. Now they are greeted by the lookouts, who explain they will not open the door till the sewer monster is dealt with. The party accepts the task and decides to draw it out, but before they can prepare a plan, Elio is snatched into the air by a green tentacle. The party is presented with a froghemoth as the sewer monster. That's basically just a giant frog monster with tentacles and multiple eyes and all sorts of stuff. A froghemoth. Now, the party flanks and uses range against the froghemoth, sticking to their guns, basically. They know what to do by this point. But Vorkeef and Elio are in the water, up close to grant advantage to the range fighters. And the water, though it acts as difficult terrain for them, they just stay close, and our range party members just wipe the floor with the froghemoth. Well, I wouldn't say wipe the floor with it. Vorkeef and Elio do take quite a beating being up close and personal. Anyways, the party defeats the froghemoth, and then they are granted entry into the criminal hideout that is heavily trapped. The corridor that leads to the very back of the hideout is heavily trapped. So they know They're dealing with professionals. Anyways, this hideout that is in the sewers, it belongs to the organization known as the Myriad, which the party, I do believe, has encountered before. At least in Tuasoa, 2 agents of the Myriad, those 2 tieflings that Xander ends up going after. Anyways, Elio uses his background to gain the trust of the Myriad members within. He has a bit of a roguish background. Anyways, the party is introduced to Khorshad Siddiqui, the debt keeper, whose face is hidden by illusion magic. He's a bit of a crime boss in this region, and Deastock is his primary hideout. So Elio acts as liaison for the party, while Xander keeps a low profile. Xander's just very distrustful and doesn't want to get too close to these guys, so he tries to keep his hood up and stay back and not really interact with too many people. Anyways, the debt keeper explains that they want the Kreen spies gone, since it endangers their hideout, or his hideout. Obviously, the Crown's Guard are going to start investigating the sewers, trying to find the Kreen spies at some point, and eventually they will find the hideout, so that's the reason why he's concerned about it. But with that, the party, in exchange for any services from the Myriad and a reward, takes on the removal of the spies. So the party barters for what supplies they can, and they leave and enter a part of the sewers the Kreen are thought to be hiding, according to the debt keeper and his Myriad cohorts. So with that, Vexen discovers possible signs of the spies and leads the way. Now time passes, and they reach a flooded tunnel that they pass through. And at the other side, Nox's kid covers the rear, and with bow drawn, spots a female Kreen spy emerging to the surface of the water. So basically, they're going under this submerged tunnel, right? I guess that's sort of like caved in. It's kind of cavernous. And whenever they get to the other side, they're continuing on. And then Nox's kid, keeping his head on a swivel, is, watching the rear. And with his bow drawn, because he sees the bubbles start coming up from the surface of the water, he's like, oh, someone right behind us. And then slowly, the eyes and top of the head emerge, and he can see that it is a feminine sort of eyes and head and all that. And it is undoubtedly one of the Kreen spies. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this little recollection, a pretty short one. And we'll continue with Recollection 13 next time. All right, take care.